Centaur, your kind of company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, Prime Minister John Briceño presents third budget, sets out priorities for new fiscal year. Registrar of Credit Unions assigns administrator to handle daily activities of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union. And the thieves target Carmelita Government School. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, March 10th, 2023.
I am ready. You are getting the new and improved me. This is nice.
I think what really impressed him was the fact that I didn't turn into a monster.
Bring on the heat! Bring on the hate! Start up the gunfire! Whip up the dead!
It's about a relationship that hopefully many people can relate to.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
This is our best chance to find a habitable planet.
You're shooting the bullet. You're catching it.
Arrakis is a death trap.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
Ladies, are you ready for Jesus Fest 2023? The End Times Revival, March 17th and 18th, starting at 6 p.m. Invited guest Pastor Paul Dougherty from the USA.
Hey, listen, the weather's gonna change. Listen, I know it's stormy seas out there, but there's light at the end of this storm. The sun will come out tomorrow. God's going to do something in your future. He's not finished with you yet. Somebody say, this is not how it ends.
Casa Worship Band from Belmopan, Pastor Vicente Franco from Mexico, Psalmist from Orange Walk, Beverly Shiloh. This event will take place at Arthur Street in Orange Walk, in front of Orange Walk Market. Special gifts will be provided. Sponsors, Victory Church from Tulsa, Oklahoma, USA, Hope Alive, Stereo Luz, CVM Church, Pastores y Ministros Amigo del Reino,
Koinonia Ministries.
Buses will be provided for villages. For more information, contact us at 661-7324. Jesus Fest 2023. See you there.
Indulge the flavor. Go beyond meat. Looks like meat. Tastes like meat. But it's better than meat. 100% plant-based. Rich in protein, 50% less saturated fat, no GMOs, no added soy, packed with benefits and sustainable. Beyond meat, Good for you, good for the environment. Now available in 6 different types of products in Belize. Beyond Burger, Beyond Sausage, Beyond Beef, Beyond Chicken Nuggets, Beyond Chicken Tenders, Beyond Steak, Beyond Meat, distributed by United Distributors Limited.
LG dual inverter compressor cools air faster by operating at speeds as high as 120 Hz with more stability compared to conventional models. It also saves up to 70% more energy by operating at speeds as low as 10 Hz with more stability. It reduces torque vibration down to 40% for quiet outdoor unit operation. Stable operation with low vibrations also results in increased durability.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart.
It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
¡Es hoy! ¡Por fin es hoy!
A rodar.
¡Sí, señor!
¡Esto va a estar bueno!
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
Am I missing a tooth?
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Belize's economic recovery has yet again surpassed predictions for timelines given by the government of Belize and the IMF, marking the second consecutive year of fiscal and economic growth for the jewel. It is on this achievement that Prime Minister John Briceño presented his government's third annual budget in the House of Representatives this morning. All were present from the government side, but on the opposition's bench, former party leader Patrick Faber was noticeably absent, and the Queen Square area representative Denise Sister B. Barrow was also not surprisingly a no-show. The presentation of the General Revenue Appropriation 2023-2024 bill went on for a better part of 2 hours during which Prime Minister John Briceño outlined his administration's financial performance in 2022, as well as projections for fiscal year 2023-2024. Beginning with government's performance over the past financial year, PM Briceño asserted that his government's achievement has been remarkable, with an economic growth of 12.4% and an unemployment rate of below 5%. Central Bank with a comfortable margin of $960 million, covering roughly 5 months of imports.
March, this administration will complete its second full budget year, and I'm exceedingly proud to proclaim that our second year, like the first, has attained surprising successes for Belize and for our people. By almost any measure of economic progress, Belize is doing so much better than before we took office. The economy is growing, expanding in 2022 by an estimated 12.4%, more than 10 times the average annual rate of 1.7% experienced under the United Democratic Party administration. 10 times. Comparing these two trajectories, at the UDP administration's average annual growth rate of growth, it would have taken almost 2 generations, a half a century, 50 years for Belize's economy to double in size. With the rate of growth experienced and projected under my administration, our economy will double in size in just about 10 years. That means a lot more money in all our pockets much faster. Yes, we said it. We meant it, and yes, everybody wins under a PUP administration. More Belizeans have jobs. 95% of those who seek employment are working. 95%. For the first time in the history of Belize, we have an unemployment rate of 5%, thanks to a PUP government. 42,965 workers have received a $1.70 or 51% per hour salary increase because of the recent increase in the minimum wage to $5 per hour. The skeptics on the other side said it will be done, but at DPM, they said who come next would face the worst. Yet here we are. 68,000 fewer Belizeans are poor, according to the last poverty assessment. Exports are rising. Serious crimes are falling. 14,000 public officers, teachers, and security personnel received the restoration of their full wages last July. And in a few weeks from now, more specifically, starting 1st of April, we will restore increments for deserving public officers, teachers, police, PDF, and Coast Guard.
During the 2022 fiscal year, PM Briceño says his government focused on Belizeans and ensuring betterment in areas of education, health, infrastructure, and economic growth.
Ongoing upgrading of the Caracol Road, ongoing upgrading of the Coastal Road, upgrading of the Philip Coastal Highway and Remate Bypass project, upgrading of the Sarteneja Road and the construction of a new bridge at Laguna, the new Hanover Bridge, the completion of 3 miles of the Nago Bank Road under the Resilient Rural Belize program, the Natural Disaster Management Project and Climate Vulnerability Reduction Program, a new tranche for the Social Investment Fund, the strengthening and digitization of tax administration, the Education Quality Improvement Project, and the Education Reform Program, the Sustainable Tourism Program, the construction of police and defense facilities, and the procurement of equipment, including forensic equipment, under the Belize Integral Security Program, and the new loan program at the DFC, designed specifically for MSMEs, especially women-led small businesses. As if these were not already great achievements, through the Social Investment Fund, we inaugurated 6 school projects, provided laptops for every child as a part of the Belize City Southside Free Education Program, constructed 3 polyclinics, and built 3 new water systems, all at a value of $14 million.
Land ownership also remained a main focus during the 2022-2023 fiscal year.
At the start of our administration, our backlog instruments were at over 20,000. We have already managed to reduce that to 2,687. In 2022-23 fiscal year alone, we cleared 9,860 instruments. In fiscal year 2022-23, National Estate produced approximately 10,000 lease approvals, purchase approvals, grants, and land certificates. The land mobiles are a huge part of eradicating the backlogs that haunted the ministry for the past 13 years. We practically held a land clinic every 2.5 weeks, equally split between public land clinics and internal land clinics. A total of 22 land clinics combined. And perhaps more refreshingly and instructive for the economy is that we are at this minute concluding a special land clinic for the land registry. That saw the completion of 2,500 land certificates and land titles, reducing the backlogs there by 50%. And that does not include the over 14,000 land certificates, deeds, and transfer certificate of titles that have been issued over the course of the fiscal year. All these efforts, the reduction of the backlogs at the National Estate from 20,000 to under 3,000, and having the land registry backlogs from 5,000 to 2,500 will allow the ministry to get current to now ensure that the wait time for lease approvals and purchase approvals and land certificates and land transfers are cut down considerably. In the past year, we distributed a little over 1,000 purchase approvals and titles to what we call the super constituencies, the teachers, nurses, police officers, public officers, and the Belize defense officers, and the Belize force soldiers. And as we speak, 10,000 lots are being surveyed all over the country so that we can reach first-time landowners as well as more public officers, the teachers and the nurses, and members of our police and security forces. And in this coming financial year, we will do even more.
PM Briseno also says that the projected performance for fiscal year 2022 as it relates to the matter of public debt is nothing short of spectacular, having seen a reduction of close to $1 billion due mainly to his government's public debt management operations.
In December 2022, the total public debt stood at $4,031 million, or the equivalent of 64.1% of GDP. $1,716 million represented loans to external lenders, while $1,314 million was owed by government to domestic creditors. 67 cents of every dollar of debt is owed to foreign creditors and 33 cents of every dollar to local creditors. To meet the terms of this debt stock during this fiscal year, government paid some $112 million in interest and $97.5 million in principal repayments. Of every dollar in total revenue and grants for this budget year, government therefore paid 8 cents in interest. The average interest rate on the public debt comes in just under 3%. Though rising interest rates globally will nudge upward the cost of financing the public debt. Each year, going back 20 years, the IMF, based on what it called a debt sustainability analysis, has appraised Belize's public debt as unsustainable, which is doublespeak for credit distress and potential default. That being the case, there's a special sense of achievement, to quote from this year's IMF Article 4 concluding statement, and I quote, "The government has achieved a large reduction in the public debt from 133% of all GDP to 101% of new GDP, to 80% of GDP in 2021, and to 64.1% in 2022, end of quote. And the statement provides specific measures that resulted in this spectacular achievement of reducing the public debt from 133% of all GDP to 64.1% of new GDP. And I quote again, "The rebasing of national accounts, sizable fiscal consolidation, the debt for marine protection swap, strong GDP growth, expenditure containment, including a temporary 10% cut to the public sector wages, and the suspension of wage increments during fiscal year 2021-2023, a strong recovery of revenue, and a material discount on the debt owed to Venezuela under Petrocaribe," end of quote.
While the government attributes the country's economic recovery for the fiscal year 2022 as a victory, opposition leader Shine Barrow says he is not impressed. According to Barrow, the economic growth that the Briceño administration boasts of is not an accurate reflection of the relief that Belizeans are seeking from increased prices on the local market.
When the Prime Minister talks about these growths, you're talking about growth from COVID. That always is omitted. 2020 was the worst year ever for Belize because of COVID-19, not because of the UDP administration. So the growth is inflated. And when you talk about inflation, I am still going over the budget to see whether the budget responds satisfactory to inflation. I'm happy to hear about the public officers giving tickets, but I think there needs to be some office where people can report price gouging. So setting up funding for such an office, or finding within the public service the pertinent officers that could have an office where people report price gouging, I think is a step to go. The $7 million that was put there for NHI, it is a comedy of error. You are giving people nothing because our healthcare system is in shatters. It's not me that is saying it as the leader of the opposition. It is what the public healthcare professionals, private healthcare professionals, unionists in the medical field have been protesting and complaining about for quite some time now. So what does NHI actually mean? It's like you're giving someone nothing, because you go to the public healthcare facility and they can't give you medicine, they can't treat your wounds because they don't have gauges. I mean, it's pathetic. So it's not impressive to start.
Looking at the projections for the 2023-2024 budget, the Ministry of Finance is projecting more than $1.4 billion in revenues and grants, with $1.49 billion expected to be spent. The upcoming fiscal budget does not include any new tax revenue measures and will also see the restoration of increments to public officers and teachers.
The Ministry of Finance projects total revenues and grants of $1.408 billion compared to tax revenues of $1.372 billion. Non-tax revenues of $112 million, capital revenues of $5.5 million, and grants of $30 million. The subcategories of tax revenues are as follows. 1. Taxes on goods and services that account for 49 cents of every tax dollar. 2. Taxes on income and profits accounting for 26 cents of every tax dollar. 3. Taxes on international trade and transactions accounting for 18 cents of every tax dollar. And 4. Taxes on property accounting for less than 1% of each tax dollar collected. On the expenditure side, a total of $1.496 billion is proposed. Of this sum, $1.112 billion is classified as recurrent spending. This covers wages, pensions, goods and services, subsidies and transfers, and debt service interest cost. I am pleased to confirm that effective 1st April, the wage provisions include the resumption of increments for public officers. This will be merit-based and comes at a full 12 months prior to the original date for restoration. In addition to current cost, $383.4 million is programmed for capital investments during the new fiscal year, of which some $158 million are so-called Capital 3 funding drawn down from the various loans and grants already approved. $108 million is the amount projected for amortization payments. That is the repayment of principal on loans already contracted. The budget for fiscal year 2023-24 is forecasted with a primary surplus of $24.3 million, or 0.39% of GDP. That GDP is projected to be a robust $6.253 billion of economic output.
The new budget targets a primary surplus of $24.3, some 0.39% of GDP. Aside from the mathematics and numbers, PM Briceño says his government's budget for the upcoming fiscal year continues to focus on priority areas such as education, health, continued infrastructure, and citizen security.
Money is being provided for the following high priority areas. An additional $4 million to expand the free education program to schools in the south side of Belize City and the Toledo district. In addition, $1 million to fund the surveying and processing cost of lots for first-time low-income house owners. In addition, $7 million for the expansion of the National Health Insurance Program in the Orange Walk District. With this move, Madam Speaker, we are going to have over 269,000 Belizeans registered under the National Health Insurance. An additional $3 million for municipal streets and drains, an increase of $5 million to meet the recruitment of an additional 225 police cadets, 110 BDF recruits, and some 60 Coast Guard recruits. An additional $1 million to support the Financial Intelligence Unit, including the establishment of a civil asset forfeiture and recovery unit to combat corruption.
The first day of the budget debate has been scheduled for March 22nd and is expected to be debated over 3 days, during which opposition leader Shine Barrow says he will be presenting the opposition's proposed budget.
We will be analyzing and offering how we think the people's taxpayers' dollars should be spent. Again, when you go to free education, I am grateful for the budget that is allotted by the Ministry of Education to the area representatives. But these schools that they talk about on the south side, which is where my constituency is, the students from these schools still come to me to get financial aid. So where is this free education? And again, education has always been free, even under the Barrow administration, but then there are these built-in costs. So even when the government says free education for all of these schools on the south side, does that really translate into free education? I'll have a word with the Minister of Education before I leave here today, but I'm not sure that's the case. I'll be paying keener attention to it in this fiscal year as I receive the invoices from my constituents. But again, is free education really free, or do the schools still put all of these other costs that the government is not paying for?
Before today's session could conclude, some drama would unfold as opposition leader Honorable Shine Barrow was removed from inside the House of Representatives after a back and forth with the Speaker of the House, Honorable Valerie Woods. Shine's removal came as both sides of the House were in the middle of a debate on a bill motion when the leader of the opposition made statements towards the Speaker of the House, which she perceived as calling her impartial position into question. After refusing to recant his statement, the Speaker asked for the leader to be removed. However, before the Sergeant at Arms did so, Barrow decided to recuse himself and walked out.
A standing order of 38.7 and 38.8. I'll direct it to 8. The conduct of Her Majesty, His Majesty now, and members of the royal family, the Governor General, the Speaker. That shall not be entertained, Chair. Oh, we suddenly have lost the memory. Where I will act like a PUP? Did you not just say that? I will ask you to retract it. Member, yes, that's you are questioning my conduct. You directed to me. I ask you to retract. I will ask you to retract.
Trudy, I think it's.
Sergeant of Arms, I will ask you to escort the Leader of Opposition for the remainder of the day. Sergeant of Arms.
One statement
Police.
that you can't even verify.
I will ask.
And so now you're behaving like a PUP.
Member,
We need the investments in this country.
may I get a minister?
I will withdraw.
Thank you.
I won't be a degenerate like these PUPs and all your
May I get a minister to name if the member for Mesopotamia, leader of opposition, does not excuse himself?
excusing myself where I want to go, no? Behaving like a PUP. I will be right by the rule.
Member for Caribbean Shores.
A commission of inquiry will now have the task to modernize the country's sugar industry and improve its viability. Cabinet made the decision following presentations from the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, BSCFA, and the Belize Sugar Industries Limited, American Sugar Refinery, BSI-ASR. As you may be aware, both entities have been unable to sign a commercial agreement for the delivery of cane to the factory. With that long-standing dispute disrupting the industry to a certain extent, the hope is that the Commission will also be able to assist both parties in resolving their issues, thus putting an end to the stalemate. While a Commission inquiry is not something that the Miller agreed on, the BSCFA, on the other hand, was pushing for its formation, so much so that its membership descended on Independence Hill on Tuesday and carried out a peaceful protest as Cabinet met with representatives from BSI-ASR. Today we spoke to the chairman of the BSCFA Committee of Management, Alfredo Ortega, who says the formation of the committee could not have come at a better time.
We are thankful to Cabinet that they finally approved the Commission of Inquiry, on which we, since we started our negotiation with BSI, you know, since 2 years ago, we have been trying to negotiate with them. We have went through different options in the negotiation, and we have not reached any way forward. So it is our belief that having a Commission of Inquiry making their research, this will bring the necessary information and tool that is needed not only for the agreement but also for the act to be modernized, as the Prime Minister says. We believe as BSCFA that once the information is out, because as you know, we have been looking forward into seeing how the services that are being charged in the overhead expense are being inflated. So we are not saying that we are not in agreement of paying, but we want that what is being paid is the true cost of the services being rendered. And that would be one of the diligence that the Commission of Inquiry should bring out, to bring the true cost of manufacturing sugar in all the forms and types of sugar that is out there, and also the services that are being given. So it will give an opportunity to the industry to know exactly at this point where we are, or at this year where we are, what are the true costs of the manufacturing of sugar.
But for the BSCFA, the Commission will also have other tasks apart from price setting.
Two of the things. One is for our agreement that can be more representative to both sides. The other thing that we believe that should come out from the Commission of Inquiry is that it will give a very well overview so that a new Sugar Industry Act can be developed, which will give a more better playing field to both sides. Because as we speak right now, the Sugar Industry Act is from 2001, and as when you go over and you read the act how it is and with the amendments that is being done to it, it's one-sided. It's very little in favor of the farmers. We want an act that will work, that will give the opportunity for us in the industry, that whenever there are challenges in the industry, that the act can cover those areas. As we speak right now, we are only depending on government. Every time that we need to do things, we have to go to the government, we have to go to the Prime Minister, we have to go to the Ministry of Agriculture. And I think that the Act should cover those areas on whenever if there is a dispute amongst us, there should be within the act things that will give us that opportunity at first hand how we can resolve those. And if we are unable to resolve it, then we can go through the other step. But as we speak right now, the act has nothing like that to give us that opportunity to use that as a tool to resolve our differences. And
according to Ortega, the next step is to find the ideal persons to be on the commission.
they need experts in there, as rightly as you said, in finances, in marketing. We also need expert in knowledgeable of how to manufacture sugar, running a mill. We need those type of person in there. So we need experts that will really come in and bring out the necessary information that will guide the process for a new commercial agreement between BSI and ourselves, and also for a new act to be in place.
Would you prefer Belizeans or persons from abroad? How would the BSCFA feel more comfortable?
Well, Kami, we want people that will be honest, that will be doing what they're supposed to do without being biased. In Belize, I wouldn't say that we don't have some people, but I think that we have been seeking sometimes for a sugar technologist, and we have not found any in country. There hasn't been any in country, so I think that there would be a mixture, maybe, in regards to the experts that will be leading, or that will be leading the process in regards to the Commission of Inquiry, and it will be in the hands of the Prime Minister, I believe, that will select those people on which maybe we will be knowledgeable before they come on board. We need honest people that will be working in this process of the Commission of Inquiry, so that when the information comes out, it's an information that will be trusted, that the information that is out is really the right price of the services being rendered. And once those things come out, I think that will shorten the doubts that are out there right now.
Apart from the Commission, Cabinet has also announced the formation of a ministerial subcommittee to meet with BSI and the BSCFA to chart a way forward for both sides to resolve their differences. The newly formed subcommittee is to be chaired by Honorable Karim Musa. Coming up next, a new boss assigned to the SFX. Stay tuned.
Belize, are you ready for Jesus Fest 2023? The End Times Revival, March 17th and 18th, starting at 6 p.m. Invited guest Pastor Paul Dougherty from the USA.
Hey, listen, the weather's going to change. Listen, I know it's stormy seas out there, but there's light at the end of this storm. The sun will come out tomorrow. God's going to do something in your future. He's not finished with you yet. Somebody say, this is not how it ends.
Casa Worship Band from Belmopan, Pastor Vicente Franco from Mexico, Psalmist from Orange Walk, Beverly Shiloh. This event will take place at Arthur Street in Orange Walk, in front of Orange Walk Market. Special gifts will be provided. Sponsors: Victory Church from Tulsa, Oklahoma, USA, Hope Alive, Stereo Luz, CVM Church, Pastores y Ministros Amigo del Reino,
Koinonia Ministries.
Buses will be provided for villages. For more information, contact us at 661-7324. Jesus Fest 2023. See you there.
Am I missing a tooth?
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
In his capacity as Registrar of Credit Unions, today Kareem Michael announced that he has appointed Martin Marshallek as Administrator to the St. Francis Xavier Credit Union in Corozal. The move comes at the heels of several allegations and controversy surrounding the credit union, some which came to light last year.
I would like to inform the Belizean public that I have appointed an administrator to St. Francis Xavier Credit Union Limited pursuant to Section 6113 of the Credit Union Act. I did so having made the determination on the facts made available to me that this step was required to protect the interests of the members, the true owners and depositors of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union. The purpose of this conference also is to relay the details of this administration and to assure the members, the owners of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union, as well as the members of the wider financial sector, that the credit union and the financial system remains stable and sound. Most of you in the room and joining us online are aware of recent and well-publicized controversies related to the administration and operation of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union. Given these, I ordered a review of the credit union's operations by way of a special examination pursuant to Section 60 of the Credit Union Act.
The examination was conducted between July and August of last year.
It's actually commenced on the 11th of July last year, and a report was provided to me. On the 5th of July 2022, I also placed the credit union under a regime of enhanced supervision by appointing on-site examiners to review the day-to-day operations of the credit union pursuant to Section 60 of the Credit Union Act. The information gathered as a result of the said special examination and the examiners I appointed uncovered what I regard as critical deficiencies in governance and risk management practices at St. Francis Xavier Credit Union. In my capacity again as the registrar, and in keeping with my statutory duties, I have, through written communication, engaged extensively with the board and management of St. Francis to ensure it addressed the issues and deficiencies uncovered. I formed the view that if not addressed, these material weaknesses could destabilize the credit union and harm the interests of its members. I have provided the board and management of St. Francis with ample opportunity to address my concerns, and I have determined that these critical deficiencies have not been adequately addressed.
A variety of issues were identified. Those were outlined today by the registrar.
Number one, the board continues to disregard its fiduciary responsibilities under the Credit Union Act to provide strategic direction, ensure that risks are properly managed, and establish sound corporate values and conduct, thereby compromising the safety and soundness of the credit union. The board's non-committal responses to address the grave issues uncovered during on-site examinations are strong indicators that the board is not equipped or disposed to discharge its fiduciary responsibilities to members and depositors of the credit union. The culture of unaccountability at the management level continues to result in subjective decision-making and self-dealing practices, while discounting the risk and potential losses to the credit union. The committees are ineffective in their roles of managing credit and in providing unbiased, objective review of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union's risk management, governance, and internal controls processes.
With powers authorized by the Credit Union Act and the Registrar of the Credit Unions, the administrator will be assisted by other individuals appointed by the Registrar and other employees of the Central Bank.
The administrator, Mr. Marshallek, will have the powers of all or any duties of the officers of the credit union. It's important that, again, we sketch what his responsibilities, roles will be under this framework. The administrator is required to take all steps and do all things necessary to protect the equities of the members and the rights of creditors of the credit union. The administrator shall ensure that normal services and operations of the credit union are maintained. He will be responsible to the registrar and carry out all orders and directions of the registrar to the credit union. To the extent I deem it necessary, I shall, as registrar, give directions to the administrator I consider to be desirable in the interest of the members and potential members of the credit union. We are guided by the provisions of the Credit Union Act, which provide that the directors, officers, and the manager of the credit union shall not exercise any of the powers conferred upon them by this act or bylaws during the time that the administrator remains in charge of the conduct of the business of the credit union. The said duties and responsibilities shall be performed by the administrator, provided that the administrator may delegate to directors, officers, or the manager specific duties as may be necessary to efficiently carry out the business of the credit union. I anticipate that the administrator will delegate specific duties and responsibilities to such directors, officers, and managers as he deems necessary.
We understand the SFXCU was also sanctioned for not recuperating compensation funds paid out to the general manager of the credit union, Rafael Dominguez Sr., for defamation of character. The amount is in excess of $100,000, according to the Registrar of Credit Unions. We will have more on this story in Monday's newscast. The teachers, students, and parents of Carmelita Government School are tonight seeking the public's assistance in identifying thieves who broke into the school on Thursday of this week. According to police reports, over $1,300 worth of items was stolen from inside the school compound by a person or persons who forcibly made their way into the school sometime between Thursday and Friday morning. This is not the first time that thieves target the school, and tonight the public is being asked to contact authorities if you have any information that can lead to the detention of these persons. Residents are also reminded that it is a crime punishable by a fine or even jail time to buy or sell stolen items. The Santa Rita Assemblies of God Primary School in Corozal is today boasting of a brand new facelift and kitchen courtesy of Plan Corozal, a non-profit organization spearheaded by Thea Garcia Ramirez. The team worked arduously for weeks, and today the school organized a thank you celebration to the Plan Corozal team for the more than $20,000 donation to the small school with a big heart. Our news team traveled north, and Elmer Cornejo collected all the smiles and files the following report.
Kindling the fire of knowledge in generations for many decades is no small task, and not many schools can boast of a legacy that remains aglow even after more than 25 years. Today, a cool new look is the new face at the Santa Rita Assemblies of God School in Corozal, and it comes after more than 8 weeks of hard work. A small school with merry hearts stood bold and strong, accompanied by parents, friends, and community representatives assembling to give thanks to the Plan Corozal team, who was adamant in making sure that the forgotten school received a well-deserved makeover, including a brand new kitchen with equipment. A very happy principal, Rangel Sol, told us how appreciative his school is about the entire project, worth over $20,000.
We are very happy indeed because this is a big accomplishment thanks to the leadership of Ms. Thea Garcia along with Plan Corozal. Wow, what can I say? The students are happy, parents are happy, and myself very, very happy indeed.
Tell us what were the upgrades that you got and what is it that Ms. Thea and her team did for the school?
I would say a complete change. It was just a conversation, and from there everything became a reality.
How it transformed?
It's really a total different, I would say, indeed a great change because the way the school was and then what it is right now, even the past buyers look at it and say, wow, that is indeed a different from what we used to see when we pass by every day.
And indeed, the school does not look the same. It has been more than a decade since the school saw any new changes, and for that, the entire staff and principal are excited.
The kitchen was in here. This used to be a class before, but we didn't have a new refrigerator, a new stove, or what you are seeing here. But we did have our small kitchen, right? But this is a what can I say? I am speechless because what we had and what we have now, it's a big difference. It's indeed a big difference. Everybody was involved, from students to teachers, parents, the group from Plan Corozal, and from there they started inviting other people and they came together. We even had students from CJC, CCC coming to do community service. We had parents, the parents invited the neighbors. So it was a huge community networking that happened when this project was completed. It was a hard work because we have to sacrifice our weekends. Teachers were here Saturdays and Sundays, and this was even Plan Corozal and all the people that were involved. We were here Saturdays and Sundays, so it was like tiring because we have to go home and do our lesson planning. But then when we see the result, it's like it was worth the while. It was worth staying here late at nights, weekends, and when we go in our classroom, when we come in the kitchen, it's like you can see the smile in their faces, right? So yes, it is indeed so happy and so good for us to have a kitchen and the school compound in a different state.
The dedicated work and passion of keeping community at heart is in the genes of a seasoned leader known to the Corozal community as a woman who can keep a promise and make things happen. The result of hard work starts with a vision of change, says Plan Corozal's Taya Garcia Ramirez. Ramirez says Plan Corozal is all about transforming Corozal into a community where change is possible, especially in education.
It's our most ambitious project yet. Like I said, it kind of snowballed. One thing led to another, but we were able to see the needs of the school. So once you start, you can't ignore the needs. This is for the kids, the children of the school. There are only 90 children at the school. It's a multi-grade school. It's in Corozal town. It's in my neighborhood. I live a few blocks from here, and so I grew up in this neighborhood also. So I've known this school all my life, and because the school is so small, sometimes it's difficult to fundraise. It's difficult to be able to accomplish some of the things the bigger schools have. So once we started painting, we realized that some doors needed changing, and then when we started to change some doors, we looked around and we saw the windows. Then we saw this kitchen, and we decided that we were going to take over the renovations of the kitchen. As you can see, we were able then to convince donors to give us a new cabinets, a new fridge, a new stove, because this school provides every day, every school day, it provides lunch for most of the children. If I would have to put a ballpark figure number on price tag on what we've done here today, it would be in excess of $20,000 between the material and the labor that was here. I mean, just the paint, just the renovations here. This has tile, this has a new ceiling, false ceiling, the painting, a lot of work went into it, and it's not just this one, but a lot of people contributed to it. And when Plan Corozal raises funds, it is for these projects. And so we want people to know that when you buy a plate of barbecue from Plan Corozal, when you participate with us in by buying raffles or simply by donating material, building material, we want to ensure the public, the community, that all of that goes back into the projects. Because we believe, like I said, that we are not just working on physical infrastructure or just cleaning up Corozal. We are also repairing something that I believe that has eroded, which is civic pride, community pride. And I think that if we have nice facilities and the children see that and they participate with us also, that they and the entire public will see how hard we're working, how much it costs, and that we will take care of our things.
The school looks anew, and the beautiful atmosphere that can be felt as you walk into the campus will allow students, teachers, and community to appreciate education on a whole next level.
When I looked at the work that was done today, I was pleasantly surprised, and I realized that this is exactly what the students of Santa Rita Christian School needed. This will also assist them to let the environments of which they are located be conducive to their learning. The students, you can see the appreciation, some of them, as was mentioned in the opening ceremonies, that the students were willing to assist as well. So it was not only the teachers and the team that was here, but the students as well contributed. So it's going to benefit all of us.
The new kitchen that is here now is going to allow for better meals to be prepared. What have you to say about it?
In the past, the principal and staff of Santa Rita and I have met, and we tried to allocate some funds for the preparation of the feeding program. And it was basically difficult for us in that it's not only the meals, it was how we are going to sustain it, one, and how we are going to create a kitchen that looks like a kitchen and not some place that you prepare food on the street side. So we had talked about it, but it was a plan that we have to figure out how we would have accomplished it.
And then Plan Corozal came in.
Yes, Plan Corozal came in unbeknown to us. It was a surprise that they would have extended the works that they are doing at the school to as far as the kitchen. The idea that we had, it was only going to be painting, so that would have been a facelift of the classroom externally, not internally. But eventually, the team saw the need, and they decided that they were going to bless us with an entirely new kitchen. This is a new kitchen. I wouldn't call this renovated kitchen. I would call this a new kitchen.
Leader of Plan Corozal is adamant about change and says the school will get more in the nearby future. The school is more than receptive to more development.
I think that we should be Corozal proud. We were a very, very proud community. We were boastful of the facilities that we had, the park that we had, how clean our town was. And I think we should get back to that. So we are not just doing that, but we're repairing, I believe, little by little, the social fabric that has seriously deteriorated over the years. So that's what we want to do, and we want to get back again to that. Corozal proud.
I would appeal for probably armchairs, and our bathroom really needs repairs.
So what would you tell the business community?
Well, I would ask them if they can donate maybe the material, and we can do the labor. It would be a great help.
Plan Corozal has plans to continue assisting the school. The next project is geared towards making sure that the school's bathroom is attended. Elmer Cornejo, CTV3 News.
The BPO industry has been taking a major force in changing the reality of unemployment in Belize. The fact is that the BPO industry provides employment for more than 8,000 Belizeans across the country. A few weeks ago, we brought you the story about the Corozal Town Council partnering with Beltrade to train Corozaleños in skills needed to better secure a job in the BPO industry. Beltrade's Dr. Leroy Almendades, Executive Director of Beltrade, was present today and told us more.
Our job really is to help to bring change to the whole country, to help to contribute to national development and to economic development. And so partnering with the mayor, and the fact that BPOs, business process outsourcing services, is really the thing that's growing. In fact, it's the second largest employer in the country. And so when we heard about Ariston wanting to do business or to set up here, and we reached out to the mayor, and the discussion took place on what kind of training would be required. And so therefore, since we offer training for BPOs, we're offering training in soft skills and more technical skills so that it makes them easier for them to be employed, knowing that Corozal at one point had the highest unemployment rate. So we hope that with this kind of training, and when I looked in there and I saw the number of individuals, that it will bring employment and allow even far more individuals to be employed through these BPOs, and something that continues to grow. I also noticed quickly that it's mostly women. And the fact that this is Women's Month and we focus so much more now on women economic empowerment makes us even feel better, because a lot of our focus now is entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial women.
Good. So were you saying that then that Ariston is going to be a BPO that's going to be located in Corozal soon?
Yes, the intention, the understanding is Corozal, and that's why we came all the way out here rather than training them in Belize City, because we expect that whoever is employed more than likely will come from Corozal. And that will take care of some of the unemployment problem. You'd have heard the Prime Minister this morning saying the employment rate is about 5%. We want it to be even lower. Even though if you go any lower, it simply tells you, even at the point where it is, it tells you a lot more people are employed.
20 participants sat the training and today received their certificate of completion. We spoke to one of them who has already secured a job and is ready to start her brand new job on Monday.
Today we conclude the training that we had for 2 weeks. We had a little over 20 applicants, and I am proud to say that everyone stayed from the beginning to the end of this training. They are now certified to work at BPOs, so they are very independent. They have the tools on hand, or some of the tools on hand, to be able to apply for a job at BPOs and be considered to be an employee of any BPO. And more importantly, the tools that they learned can apply to any given job that they want to apply, not only the BPOs. No, yes, it was designed that way, so that it's not only used for BPOs, they can use it anywhere. Some very important tools. I'm sure that they are grateful for it. I am very happy that they decided to come and take up the challenge.
After 2 weeks of training, the participants received their certification and are ready to join the experience of working in a call center.
I would say the training, it was great. Basically what all we learned, our venturing at the job, so it actually helped me a lot.
Yeah, and your experience now, you secured that tool, that knowledge. How does that make you feel walking into a new job in the BPO industry?
Well, when I walk in that job, I feel like, oh, I know everything, because I have basically all the knowledge of what that job expect me to give towards for them. So.
And to the people that gave you the training, what you want to tell them?
Well, a big thank you, because without them, I wouldn't get so much knowledge from the background of the call center or the BPOs.
For Josiah Rodriguez, one of the youngest to sit the training, he says he is glad about partaking in the training.
Due to the fact that I have some call center experience, I was perspicacious in this area. But little did I know that in this training, we would take a deep dive and to fully assimilate the importance of not only communication, but the emotional aspects of this area. All my trainers were amazing. From the moment I met them, I knew that this training was going to be successful. They did everything in their power to help us gain the knowledge, and it was amazing. The way they interacted with each and every one of us was one of their most greatest skills in their teaching, because in the communications, it's not only about what you say, but it's how you say it. And the energy that they brought was so immaculate that it made you want to come again, like what they shared. We didn't even want to go home some days, We were stuck in this place because the energy that they brought to us made us feel welcome in here. And apart from that, I got to gain more knowledge about the BPO sector and how it will help me excel and triumph if I ever choose to go back in that ring. I want to thank each and every one of them, because if one of them was missing, it wouldn't be the same. Each one of them brought a specific and unique vibe to this area, that it just helps you connect to each and every one of them. And I not only learned about the BPO sector, but I also gained experience from my colleagues as well, because they are more ageable, I would say, because I'm one of the youngest in there. So it's not only about what you learn that can help you in the industry, but what you can take to different industries as well.
All participants received a BTEX Job Preparedness BPO training certificate, which will place them at an advantage point when seeking a job. Similar trainings are planned for other municipalities in the nearby future. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, March 13th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.